What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Jesse back again. Culture Shock Collectibles in Brownsville, Texas. Today we're playing with Hot Wheels. See that back there? I just got it myself. I've been wanting this ever since I opened the store a couple years ago. Just didn't have money to get it. Now I got it. It wasn't too expensive, but you know, you're spending money on inventory and this and that. 200 bucks, holds 144 Hot Wheels. Super great construction. Has a mirror on the back. I like it a lot because they're diagonal like that instead of flat, so you can see more of the car. And all right, guys. So I just want to film a little bit of a day in the life. I already filled this up, but I've got to get this back organized. My old case. I still want to keep this and fill it up with more inventory. So let's get to it. All right, guys. So like I said, I bought this new case. Put 144 Hot Wheels in there. I will show you those Hot Wheels a little bit later. But now I got to readjust this case here. So I wanted to show you guys some stuff that I was going to put in there. Got a lot of different cool stuff from the 80s and 90s. Some 70s. Like this... it's called the Speed Seamer. It's kind of after a Mantis, the old Redline Mantis. Does have the, the windshield goes up and down. It's got these amazing Ultra Hot wheels. I remember these Ultra Hots came out sometime either early 80s or late 70s. They're supposed to make your car go faster. So I'm not really gonna do any kind of like sorry about that noise, too organized in here, but I'm just gonna try to fill it up. So I did take quite a few cars out of here, and we've got a good mix of mainlines and from all different types. Like this is a premium Aston Martin, rubber wheels, super cool car. But yeah, like I said, I need to refill this. I don't want to get rid of it. I love it. It's a great little antique display case that I got from my grandmother a long time ago. So I really don't want to get rid of it. I think it's a nice addition to the store anyway also. And now we're going to have a ton of Hot Wheels, which is amazing because I love Hot Wheels. Like, it's one of the first things that I started selling when I got into this back in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. I started selling sports cards in the early 90s. I think 1991 was the first time I ever did a show. But by 95, 96, I started getting into Hot Wheels and other toys and stuff like that. So I do have a big wide range of knowledge as far as just a lot of different stuff. Comic books, Hot Wheels, toys, cards, you name it. I got a ton of, some people would say useless information. But hey, when it comes to... oh wow, I didn't even know the doors open on this. Are they open on this one too? Dang. So when Hot Wheels used to make cool stuff. So we got 300Zs, 300ZX, no, 300Z. These were, so this is modeled after the first twin turbo 300Z when they switched from like this body style, the Datsuns. Like this is a Datsun 240. This is actually a wheel swap. This is a main line that I had somebody switch the wheels out for me. So when they switched from this to this was like, oh man, I can't remember when, but I would say like early 90s, probably 90, 91, 89, 90, somewhere in there. So this was kind of the U.S. version of the Skyline. Same drivetrain, same everything. So where you had the R32 in Japan, we had the Z. So I don't think they put RB26s in these, or RB20. I forget what's the, it's RB something, but I don't think they put RBs in here. But it is twin turbo, all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive steering, which that was like a, nah, they got rid of that. That's like when all your wheels turn at the same time instead of just the front, wheels. I think it had an option to switch that, or you could put a delete bar on the bottom. I mean, I'm talking about the real cars, not the Hot Wheels, right? But yeah, so this is when they first came out. But so yeah, I didn't even realize that the doors opened. So that's cool. So I'm gonna put these together. Again, I'm not necessarily gonna do that for everything, put all the same cars together. But if I have them, I will go ahead and do it. And then I'll put this one next to it. I did find a bunch of, so I went up into my attic. I have a, dude guys, I have a ton of stuff, guys. I've been doing this for 30 years. Collecting Hot Wheels now for 30 years at least. So I found a bunch of stalkers. Like race cars, like NASCAR race cars. And Hot Wheels did a bunch of different body styles. Like, I think this is a T-Bird stalker. Yeah, Thunderbird. So this is a T-Bird stalker. This would have been racing around NASCAR circuits back in the 90s. This is, I'm not sure when the casting was created, but this is a Chevy stalker. I think this is based off of the Monte Carlo, so this would have been like the 80s. I think this is a Monte Carlo, but they call it the stalker. Let me see. I should add some more. Maybe in my little box down here. Got a old 48 car case. Still have some cars in here. I think here's another stalker. Yep. Here's another stalker. I think there's another T-Bird. Yeah, it's another T-Bird stalker. Super cool little Valvoline. Probably modeled after Mark Martin's car. And then, no, this is a Camaro. But this is when, that's kind of when I think the Hot Wheels started going downhill. Not going downhill, just on production. So they were still doing metal base, plastic bodies. But there are some collectors that collect this era of plastic body, because there's I know they did some Ferraris with plastic bodies that are very sought after. But also, here's another stalker, another Chevy stalker, but this one's cool because check it out. Oh, crack up. So this is one of the stuff that, you know, they always come out with different things. So this was one of the things that they came out with, where you could crash it and then you put it back. And now it's fixed. I also have a, I know I was talking about the stalkers, but I also have Taxi, like that. Well, this one's on the door. You can fix the door, put it back. And then when you're playing with your friends or even just by yourself, you can, this one seems like it might have been crashed a little bit too many times. But anyway, so you get the gist. The door goes back and then you hit it and it flips to the crashed. And you can flip it back over. Yeah, so when you're, you know, When you're playing cards, when you're imagining, when you're a kid, you're imagining, using your imagination instead of just going online. You know, you could have used these crack ups. I know I had another one. Is it this one? Yeah. So this is some weird car. I don't know why it's got the spoiler on the front instead of the back. What do they call this casting? It doesn't have a name on the base. But another crack up. Fix the door. Crash it. Fun for hours. But anyway, so let's put these in the case here. I'll probably put them down here. So again, guys, if you want to open a shop, I mean, some people are lucky enough to have a big, big crew that helps them out, helps them do this kind of stuff. You know, I don't. It's pretty much me. I have one young lady that likes to, not that she likes it, I don't know, I'm sure she likes it. She collects Pokemon. But anyway, one that does help me out a little bit, just on a volunteer basis. So I can't really be demanding of her to, to freaking be like, oh, hey, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Here's another premium Mercedes AMG rubber tires. So like I said, we got a good selection of everything. I mean, you got guys that just like to display their stuff, or other guys that do dioramas. Let me show you some of these. These are different, like different stuff, but just to give you a little bit of a history lesson. So back in the day, when Hot Wheels did like special things, they didn't card it. They put them in baggies. So like this Goodyear blimp probably came in a cereal box or something. I know for sure that these were cereal. They were either cereal or McDonald's. I can't remember, but so and it came with a little thing. Collect all 8. Little Tri-Chevy, little 55 Chevy there. This was definitely one that would have come in a track. They had these weird track cars. I think they just wanted it to make. I have a loose one so I can show you, or at least one similar with the same type of wheels. So I don't know if you can tell if the camera will pick it up, but it's got these weird, like, it's got like kind of tread, I guess. But these wheels only came on track cars. What I mean is, like, you bought the track, you build the track or whatever, and they would include a car. And it would be these cars with these wheels. And the reason they put these wheels because they wanted it to make noise when it's going down the track, like, so kind of give it like an engine noise. I mean, I don't know. It's a little gimmick or whatever. But, I mean, as a kid, you probably thought, oh, man, that's the coolest thing. And then this was a Toy Fair Passion from the New York Toy Fair, 1992 New York Toy Fair. And again, came in a little baggy. And then, last but not least, this one was one of the hardest ones to get. I know later on, I think they kind of just threw them out into the market, and I'm not sure what outlet they used to sell them, but the original way to get this gold Cadillac, let me show you, it's a 59 Caddy. At the time, this was a very popular casting. So 59 Cadillac, 7-spoke white walls. which they rarely use this wheel on anything. A little bit of some black stripes. But, all right, in 1997, so back in the day, they used to do this thing called first editions. So they would come out with a new casting, and they would make a 12 card set, and they were called first editions. I'm sure you still see them around at shows and stuff if you're collecting Hot Wheels. So they would make 12 new castings a year, and then that was a set that you would chase, the first edition set. Of course, you would also chase your treasure hunts, your supers later on. 12 card set. I think the supers now are 15, but back then it was 12, one a month. And then they would have 4 car sets. So it would be like the Biff Bang Boom set. Okay, that's one of them. I'm not lying. 1987. I don't think I have any of the Biff Bang Booms here, but so it had like graphics that said like Biff, Bang, Boom. And it's kind of like from the old Batman days where they would punch somebody and be like, pow, boom. So they had the Biff Bang Boom. They had like they had the Ice series where all the cars were white. They had the sports cars. So like each car had like, they had a 59 Caddy. They had like basketball, I think, basketball themed. My favorite were the race team ones. I think I had a race team Cobra. Yeah. So they would do race team. So the race teams were all like this blue with the Hot Wheels logo. So they're gonna make 4 cars. So they make 4 different cars in the sets. So in 1997, they sold a little wall display, something like, nothing like this, but something similar. You would mount it on your wall and then you'd put all the cars. So it was enough to hold every first edition, so 12 first editions, and then every 4-car set. And you had to open them. You had to put them on, you had to buy the display. You had to open up all the cars, put them on the display, take a picture of it, send it to Mattel with the little cutout, little coupon thing that they gave you or whatever, little order form. And then they would send you this car. So that was like one of the hardest cars to get, because you would have to spend literally, what, $12 on the, I don't even know how much the display case was, maybe $10. $12 on the 12 first editions, and then I think that was another 12 4-car sets maybe, so another 48 cars, so like 60 cars total, plus the thing just to get this. So at one point this was really expensive, but then not a lot of people sent in for it, and then they ended up, I don't know if they threw them to KBs or where they threw. I can't remember where they threw them, but they ended up throwing them out, and people were able to buy them, so it dropped the value on them. But anyway, let's see. Let's get back to this and put my stalkers together. Where'd the other one go? There we go. I got these little Zowies here that are kind of in my way. If you don't know what Zowies are, this is a Zowie. It is a Mattel product. I don't think it's labeled a Hot Wheel, but Hot Wheel collectors do collect them. Mainly Redline collectors, because these were out during the Redline era. And you could buy these at like gasoline stations. They were in little baggies also. So here's another plastic body, 57 Chevy, 5-hole wheels. Now with this old stuff, guys, you really got to pay attention. So I think they kind of still do it. But anyway, so they would, they make, to me, it's more, in my head, they run out of a certain wheel that they were using at the factory. And like, hey, well, we were putting 5-spokes on these. What do we do now? There's no more 5-spokes. And then like, well, we got to keep it moving, so just put 5 holes or whatever. Like, so it ends up being variations, but some end up being more expensive than others because they were harder to find. I know, like just for example, I think it's 2007, the '69 Batmobile, the original Batmobile from the TV show. The first time it ever came out, I think, was 2007, and it was a new model, first edition. And I think the regular wheels are 5-spokes, but there is a 5-hole variation. Very hard to find. I haven't had one in a long time, so I'm not sure what the current market is, but I'm sure it's over $100. And here's an old Supra, MK Supra. This is from like '82, I think. Well, it's an '82 Supra, so I would imagine it came out in '82, but maybe not, maybe '83 or '84. But if you remember recently, a couple years ago, they turned this casting into a super treasure hunt, and at one point it was like $200. I'm not sure what it's going for now, but this is where it came from. This is the original, the first casting, first time it came out. Now I know a lot of us don't like fantasy cars nowadays, but back in the day they made some cool fantasy cars. Like where's Rodzilla? Here he is. Like, this is called Rodzilla. And his neck even turns, so it's a dragon. 5-spoke, metal bottom, plastic base, or plastic body. But super cool. Rodzilla. And then they had another Zowie. Put it on the bottom. There's a little naval homie. I don't know what that came out of. Anyway, so we got Rodzilla. And you got the Ratmobile. That was pretty cool. The Ratmobile. The way it looks and feels, and with these wheels, I'm pretty sure this was a McDonald's car. And we had the Shark Cruiser. I think they recently did a Shark Cruiser. I'm not sure if they retooled it or not. But this is the Shark Cruiser from the Crackle series. Remember, I was saying about the 4-car sets. This was one of them called the Crackle series, and that's why it's like all cracked. So all the cars had that type of paint job. I know there's a green Corvette in that series. Can't remember what else. And then let's see, they had some old school tanker trucks. These are tanker. They're a little beat up, but they're old. These are called basic wheels or black walls. Basic wheels or black walls. Obviously, black wall. And then it's just a basic wheel. So anyway, so here's two. This is a shell, same casting shell, and then this is a helium gas. And so the cool thing about these, they have the hoses that pop out, and you can put them back in. Same thing with this one. And you can put them back in. So those are cool. People like, again, there's guys that like to do dioramas. So they'll, use a tanker truck, and they'll do different things. Now, F1 is a rage right now. And Hot Wheels been making F1 cars for a long time. And some of them, I think some of these are called the Turbo Streak, and some of them are called. I mean, Turbo Streak's the one I remember the most. I can't remember the other names. But anyway, this is an Aquafresh. Aquafresh is a toothpaste. I'm not sure if it's still around. But the Aquafresh would have come with a tube of toothpaste and this car on top. Boom. You can still find them sealed sometimes. So we got the Tune-Up Masters and the Aquafresh. Ooh, almost dropped it. And then we've got, what is this? I don't know, it just says Zap Racing. So it's another little Indy car. This one's kind of jacked up. Somehow the spoiler got bent. I don't know how those things like. I don't want to mess up my. Let me try it here. Yeah, fix it a little bit, but anyway. This is also another 4-car set. Oh, I can't remember what it was called. But they were all like that, black and silver. Can't remember the name of the set, but. So again, guys, just want to show you, you know, kind of work you got to put in if you want to be shop owner. And especially till you get to the point where you can afford to have employees and all that stuff. You're going to be doing it all yourself. Oh, here's another one. This is an older one. Hopefully this has a name on the casting. It doesn't. But this one is Malibu Grand Prix. Is what's on there. Goodyear. Slightly different casting. There goes more chips. Yeah, it's a good thing Hot Wheels has, you know, they're built to last. So they got that lifetime guarantee. Do they still have a lifetime guarantee? I know they did at one point. This is a cool one. It's a really good condition too. It's called the Aries wagon. I'm not sure what wagon it was designed after, but it's got the wood paneling and everything. Pretty sweet. Here's an old 80s Firebird. I think that's what they call this casting, 80s Firebird. And got the funky neon orange and lightning bolts and stuff. Alright, let me rearrange this really quickly here. And all I'm doing is I'm trying to get them in line, like, you know. There's another bag car. Put it with the bag cars. Hope you're still hanging out. I know this video is running kind of long now. And if you're still here with me, thank you for that. Let's see what else I can show you. Oh, here's this is the Dixie Challenger. Very controversial vehicle at one point because it has this one's worn off, but if you find them in good condition, it has the Dixie flag on here, the rebel flag. So of course, you know, very controversial. It's not the Dukes of Hazzard, because the Dukes of Hazzard was a Charger. This is a Challenger. But they kind of modeled it off of that. I think they didn't want to get sued by the TV show or anything like that, so they did a Challenger instead of the Charger. Oh, here's a better. Well, this one's got a better paint job on the top, but the whole roof is gone. Pretty messed up. But even in these conditions, this would have had chrome base, but it's already worn out too, so that's why it's like white, yellow. But even in this condition, they're still like $10. People love that casting. So this is one of Hot Wheels' old premium cars. So this would have come in a set, like a 4-car set or a 3-car set in an acrylic case. You're basically paying $10 a car, because each set come in an acrylic case, and if it had 3 cars it was 30, if it had 4 cars it was 40, and so on. 2 cars was 20. But they did a lot of good stuff. Like, you know, they put the license plate details on the back lights and the gas tank, the license plate, Real Rider tires, a little bit of painted interior, painted engine. I kind of wish they would come back with these 4 cars, these little sets, those sets or whatever. But all right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. I know I didn't show you everything I got, but I think I showed you all the interesting, cool stuff. Let me get out from in front of the camera, and I will show you all the new stuff and everything we put in this case, and then we'll end the video. So don't forget to like, subscribe, leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I really want to know what you guys think. All right. I know a lot of people complain about how I talk. They say they can't understand me. I need subtitles. But hopefully you guys understood me, understood everything I told you. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, we're going to turn it around. We're going to show you what we got before we sign off. But don't forget to subscribe, leave us a comment, do all that good stuff. Help us out. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers this year. It's been a long journey. We're barely getting to 400, but hey, we're not doing this for fame or fortune. We're just doing it because we enjoy the hobbies, a lot of different hobbies, and we want to share our journey with you. And hopefully one day my kids can look back and watch these videos when I'm gone and be like, hey, that was my dad. But anyway, guys, all right, we'll catch you on the next one. Don't forget to enjoy the last of this video so you can see all the cool cars that are in this. All right, guys, into the video. Thanks again for hanging out so long. I did want to show you everything we have here, so here we go. I'm not going to go through any explanations this time. If you have any questions on any particular casting you see, you want more information, just leave me a comment and I'll be glad to answer your questions. If you do want to buy anything or just see, keep up with us, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, under Culture Shock Collectibles, just like the title, just like the name of our channel. Culture Shock with a K. Look for that blue logo. And all right, guys, that is it for this one. Thanks for hanging out, and we will catch you on the next.